Tale of Toast is not an MMO where you play as a sentient piece of toast, and this just ruined my whole week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Trifes. I've spent years playing the best MMO games available. Now it's time to do the opposite and find the worst of the worst. I'm going to play them all so you don't have to. Join me on a journey through the most awful MMOs I can find. Drop a like on the vid and sub to the channel for more awful MMOs and ring the bell so you don't miss a single video. If you're enjoying the series, consider supporting through the Patreon, link in the description below. Today we are playing Tale of Toast. It's on Steam, it's free, and it's 3.5 gigs, so let's give it a go. Before the game even starts, you've got to agree to several terms and conditions, and it reminds you again and again that this is an alpha phase. It's not finished and asks you to be patient with it. You know what, Tale of Toast? That's fair, and I respect your honesty. I was going to be really pedantic and nitpick every minor detail, but if you're still starting out, if you're still learning, then I will be nice. There's an in-game microtransaction for $250. I take it back. If you think you're worth $250, then the gloves are off. Let's do this. There's only one active realm, Florin, so I guess we're joining that one. Let's talk about character creation. It is adorable. I've always said style matters more than graphics, and Tale of Toast has a very defined, very pleasing style. Imagine Blizzard got really into anime when they were a kid and started collecting chibi figures. It's basically that. This is what happens. If World of Warcraft and Sailor Moon had a kid, it would be Tale of Toast. There's no classes because you can level any stat and reset at any time, plus this wisp keeps floating around and I'm certain just to show off the lighting engine, which is actually quite nice. The game starts with a massive info dump, everything from PvP to death mechanics, and it lets us know we can reopen this tutorial at any time with F1. No voiceover, no pictures, just several pages of text explaining the basics, WASD movement, but you can also click to move, space to jump, right click to interact with stuff. Every time you jump, you do a cute little backflip. This wisp seems to be our guide. As long as it doesn't start saying, hey listen, I'll go along with that. The graphics are lovely. Everything has this super cutesy, childlike anime tone, pseudo-cel shaded scenery, stylistic characters, the in-game objects like fences and buildings are nice and clunky. It looks good. Talking to an NPC has the conversation play out in real time using the chat boxes above the characters' heads and the text box, but you can skip this and get a summary. All quests work like this. There's no voice acting and none of the quests get marked on your map. It's very Warcraft classic. We are sent to meet Thorn in Brightwind Village. The button in the bottom right toggles the menu icons on and off. You've got your standard inventory, bread box, skills, you know, the usual things all MMOs have. Can you move by clicking on the minimap? Yes, you can. What about the world map? How does that look? And oh my god, it looks like it's been hand-drawn. That is adorable. I don't know if this is a program designed to look hand-drawn or if they actually drew this by hand and scanned it in, but this is exactly the kind of thing I would have made as a kid and it is absolutely charming. Find Thorn, finish the quest, get some boots. I like how the tooltip for the item lets you know to control-click to link it in the chat. That's actually some good tooltip info. Get told to speak to some local villagers to find information about the local bandit problems, but most of them won't talk to me. Thankfully, I do see an above-the-head chat box saying bandits are in the forest. I like how when you go into buildings, the roof gets removed so you can see, but when you leave, they've not quite perfected how it clips back in and you get a thin floating texture first. The pedantic criticism has begun. The earlier agreement asked for feedback, so here's some more. Hovering your cursor over an icon on the minimap, be that an NPC, shop or resource, doesn't give you any information about that thing, and it should do. Have a tooltip showing who the person is or what level that resource is. The NPC Boney needs me to find some bones. God, I hope every NPC is a pun. If you think the video seems quiet, that's because there's very little music in-game. You get about 2 minutes of ambient background and then silence. Also, the NPC pun names have stopped. Jekyll's needs me to kill some forest golems. What a massive disappointment that was. Clover needs some tools found. Also, notice how the symbol for an NPC having a quest isn't a yellow exclamation mark. Nice to see some actual originality. That's good, but NPCs with quests don't show up on your minimap or the world map, and when you've accepted them, the in-game quest log doesn't show you where to go or where to hand them in. That's bad. The pun names are back! Heidi needs me to collect animal hides. I love puns and I'm not even ashamed. Combat, here we go. Right click on an enemy, then wait. You have to be within range to attack and you won't automatically run up to them, so you have to manually close the distance each time. It's just click and wait. You don't have any early skills and there's no dodge mechanic. When an enemy dies, they might drop an item. If you do, you'll hear a sound effect based on the item's rarity. I'm convinced all these effects are just someone making adorable sounds into a microphone. Also, enemies explode into purple ghosts after death. Evil mushroom. Absolutely. All mushrooms are evil because mushrooms are gross. Then I level up. Oh my god, that was so adorable, I almost melted. Can we play that level up sound again? That has to be someone just making adorable cute noises, recording them and then using them. That is so cute. Whether you love it or hate it, that kind of production has so much heart. I wrote that part of the script while still having fun, before this game becomes the nightmare grind from hell. When you level up, you gain stat points and skill points. You can spend them how you like and reset all of them at any time for no cost. Navi finds a piece of paper by a tree and it just so happens to be the bandits' hideout. That's convenient. I can't quite remember which NPC I needed to talk to, so I checked my quest list and the minimap and the world map, and oh yeah, none of them say. There is zero in-game information about who wanted what. The only thing you can do is open your quest log and reread all of the quest dialogue to figure it out. Feedback. Have quest givers and receivers show up on the minimap. Back in the village and the wisp tells me to pick up some cabbage. It can replenish our health. A children's fantasy game using cabbage as an early game food item. Never seen that one before. When you've got a quest to hand in, the NPC will have two floating triangles above their heads. At least it's not a question mark. I fall down this slope and the camera clips out of the world. This will happen a lot. Collision issues with the camera in a confined space are a constant problem in this game. Also, notice how the minimap has circles around the edge where icons should be. Well, the icons don't appear until you hover your cursor over them. This dude needs some wood gathered and I am gaining quite the quest list. Okay, this sheep noise is just the cutest. Listen. Reminder, this was written when I was still having something close to fun before the game reveals its true self. The sheep make sheep noises, but not actual sheep noises. It's clearly a person just saying bar, and it is just to die for. That was precious. I got low on health and eat a cabbage. I guess it was good advice. I found the wood the woodcutter wanted. It's just lying around on the floor. While the quest list doesn't show much, it does give a recommended level. Hunting down the bandits is level 5, so I'll go and do some other quests first. Annoyingly, the scattered wood I need for the quest looks exactly the same as the oak wood model for the gathering skill. In fact, quite a few assets do repeat themselves. Credit where credit is due, that is one awesome thunder sound. I reread Clover's tool quest. She last remembers having the tools on Patch's farm, so away to the farm we go. It's north. A lot of gameplay mechanics so far are similar to classic Warcraft. No quest markers on the minimap, no general highlighted area of enemies. It's very bare bones, but remember, classic WoW has an extensive modding community to fix those issues. Tale of Toast does not have an extensive modding community, or a substantial community, or any players at all, really. Patches the farmer needs someone to pick cabbages. He can't do this himself because aggressive sentient scarecrows roam the field for some reason. How did this happen, Patches? Gonna need some backstory here. Did you do this? Did the scarecrows unionize? Did you enjoy that supernatural episode and think it was a good idea? Also, Patch's house seems to have a portal on the door. I tried to go in, but the game tells me I'm not ready yet. It shows up on the minimap as a tower, so it's likely the first dungeon. Let's kill some scarecrows, and I die very quickly. When you die, you leave a gravestone which shows other people how you died. You'll respawn at the nearest graveyard, and once you're past a certain level, you'll lose experience with every death. Oh yes, it's one of those games. The nearest graveyard is back at Brightwin, which means a long run back to the farm. Level up again. The sound is still adorable. The pigs say oink, but not a pig sound. It's just a cute human saying oink. I am melting at the adorableness. Just listen. I grind some mushrooms because I need to level up before going back to the scarecrows. The text box then tells me I've found 0.01 HPB. I don't know what that is, so I click on the icon and it stands for High Performance Blockchain. This game has a built-in blockchain cryptocurrency generator, which goes to your private wallet, which is locally held on your own machine, and you can then cash out for real money. The game insists the creator of the game can't see your wallet as it's held locally. Why on earth is this here? Who is playing this for a job? How is that an effective use of your development time? This isn't a selling point. This feels cheap and gimmicky. Quick glance at the premium shop. You can buy crumbs, which you spend on what look like cosmetic items. So, I mean, it's not pay to win, but you can buy a $250 pack of crumbs. Listen, game, you can either be in early access and ask me to be patient as you improve, or you can try and sell me a $250 pack of bread. You cannot do both. You've got two narratives going on here. You've got the please be kind, I'm only a little developer story, and then you've got the buy my overpriced currency, I want to be EA story. Pick one and stick with it. 10 bat bones are needed for the next quest, so back to grinding, and I'm beginning to realise that's pretty much all the PvE is. Grinding. When you get a green drop that's uncommon, you hear a different noise. It's still just someone sounding cute, and it's still charming. Just listen. Okay, small but super annoying problem. Holding right click lets you rotate the camera around, but if you've got the map open, you can start the camera rotation by clicking somewhere off the map on the actual game, but the rotation stops when the cursor moves over the map window, despite the fact you're still holding the click button down. It's small touches like this that really begin to irritate players over time. Our quest is to kill a forest golem, 15 in fact, which I'd love to do, but I have no idea where they are. Let's try the scarecrows again, but I'll be clever. I'll use a bow and jump back and forth over the fence, flipping around like a ninja, kiting it and sniping it down, and nope, killed again. Right, new plan. Let's head back to town, run around town in a route I can remember, accept every single quest, then do the route again and just hand them all in. Another annoying issue, you can click on yourself. If you click on your own in-game avatar, it selects you. Meaning if there's an NPC close to you or an enemy within range, you'll have to swing the camera around to click on them. You cannot click through yourself. You don't need click on self as a default. You are the player. You have an entire keyboard you can map to targeting yourself. The screen space, however, is limited and vital. Do not have click on yourself as an ability. Turns out there's voice acting, but only in shops and only very limited lines.
What's on your mind?
Check the mail. There's a letter from my mum. She sent me some berry jam. Thanks, Mum. You remembered jam from a letter is my favourite jam. The puns continue. Guess what the character called Berry wants me to collect? That's right. Mushrooms. What quest next? Okay, time to kill some bunnies. The bunnies are suitably adorable. I wish I knew how much experience I was getting for killing them, but the XP drop bounces off the screen so quickly I'm kinda struggling to read it, and they don't show up in the chat box either. 10 bunnies have been slaughtered. Let's go and explore the forest. Oh, the game doesn't like you exploring too fast and will jerk the camera and the character back several steps every few minutes. When your inventory is full, you can drop stuff, but doing this actually puts it back in the shared overworld, which I quite like. But it also makes the item dropping sound every time you do this, which can get quite irritating. Reach level 5, get the Steam achievement Fiver, which only 13% of players have. I am almost in the top 10% globally. I wonder if I can be in the top 1% by the end of this video. I'm injured, so time to rest, but good god, even resting is annoying. You can only rest when you're not in combat, and even then you have to wait a few seconds after combat has ended. Pressing X makes you sit down and rest. While resting you'll recover HP and MP. But Once you start the sitting down animation, it cannot be cancelled or interrupted, and while sat down, pressing W, A, S or D doesn't make you stand back up. You need to press X again, and you'll slowly stand up. Again, non-interruptible. But if you get attacked while resting, there's nothing you can do. You have to press X to stand and wait for the animation of standing to finish while still taking damage. How about a lovely swim? You can swim above the water in the bright, happy, colourful overworld, or below the water in the endless black void of despair. After combat, I tried to use a healing item, but I can't because you've got to wait 10 seconds after the end of every combat encounter before you can use items. I kill all the mushrooms I need to, still not found the bandits or the golems. Maybe I'll just run west. I find the bandit camp. It looks like the Warhammer scenery I made when I was 12. It's oddly endearing. Despite the cute look, the bandits are insanely tough and are far too difficult for me right now, and I get ripped apart. I respawn, and this time do indeed lose 5% of my total gained experience for this level. That is the standard amount you will lose whenever you die, and that is decidedly less cute, and here is where the true nature of the game starts to show. See the cute looks? The chunky graphics and chibi characters, that's just superficial. The game engine, the numbers and mechanics are so incredibly grindy, this puts most Korean grindfests to shame. Also, why am I running when I'm in a menu? I'm not pressing anything. I don't know what I've done, but I'm running back and forth, glitching into and out of this vine. This lasts for about 5 minutes. So I'm running and jumping because it's an MMO and jumping while running is a rule, and I get another achievement, Spring Heals. Only 5.4% of players have this. I'm actually moving closer to my being in the 1% goal. It was a joke, but we might actually make it. Lost and miles from town. Thankfully there's a return spell. It takes 30 full seconds to cast and has a 1 hour cooldown time. I need several thousand experience points for my next level, so let's see what handing in this bunny killing quest gets me. 20 experience. I go outside and kill a chicken for 16 experience instantly. It's actually better for my progress to stand here grinding chickens. Another gripe with the shop interface. The moment your cursor moves over an item and the tooltip pops up, it's instant, opaque and big, meaning all items above it get blocked out. This makes shops annoying to navigate or scroll through. Add a delay to the cursor hovering over an item and the tooltip then appearing. Or better yet, have another smaller window to the right showing the stats of whatever item you've clicked on before you buy it. I've started complaining, so I'll continue. The minimap icons that show what service an NPC provide or a skilling station are way too chunky and far too close together. This basically tells me nothing. It's too crowded. Make them smaller and allow me to zoom the minimap in further. I need some better armor to tank the scarecrows, so let's do some crafting. Blacksmithing starts with copper and goes through iron, steel, and then ends at runite. I cannot think of any other MMO that has a similar named smithing system. I need copper ingots, so I buy and equip a pickaxe. You only have one slot for equipping a gathering item at any time. I go and mine some copper. You level every skill separately, so another level up sound. It's starting to get a little sickly sweet. It's like eating pure caramel. It's nice at first, now it's just a little bit too much. One thing the game really struggles with is distance between you and the thing you're interacting with, and it will tell you in the chat box you're not close enough despite standing right next to it. This tends to happen when you run up to anything and click it too quickly, so it's likely the game lagging behind in the object placement, and this happens a lot. Remember I needed copper. Well, you can see the mining icon on the minimap showing there's some ore, but it doesn't tell you the type, so you won't know what it is until you get there. I want to go as far in this game as I can in the 8 hours that I have. I want to show you parts of the game most players will never ever see, but my progress is slowed somewhat when I've got to spend hours grinding for crafting materials to survive. You can open the trade skills window, that's blacksmithing, crafting and stuff like that, by pressing T and see all the recipes available for stuff. For full copper, excluding the goggles, I'll need 88 ingots. Each ingot needs 2 ore, so I need to mine 176 ore. I'm on 44 and have been mining a while because each copper rock is spread out, they're few and far between, and there's no centralized location like a mine. It's just a case of running around until you find a copper rock. And every single time I find a rock, run up and click mine, I'm getting the not close enough message whenever I try to mine it. Get the ore, return to town, try to craft the ingot. I need a hammer, so I buy the hammer, unequip the pickaxe, equip the hammer and craft the ingot. Make an armor set and, well, I look somewhat better. Still need more ingots though, so back to mining and... Wait, what? It automatically switched from the hammer to the pick when I try to mine. Game, why do you have this system? Let me break it down for you. The purpose of having a single skilling item equipable at a time is to force a player to change before starting a new skill. It's not a fun gameplay mechanic, but it is at least player input controlled. If you just automatically switch to whatever item is needed for that skill, provided you have it in your inventory, then there's no player input and there's no point having a skilling item slot. It's functionally no different than just having it be used from your inventory, so I ask again, why is this system here? I am determined to complete this level 3 quest. I will not be defeated by a level 3 quest. The game hasn't played any in-game music for about 20 minutes now. It's just been ambient, cute animal and item drop sounds. I'm back, bitches! Yeah, that's right, fully armoured up. How'd you like me now? Using my skills as a tank, I take the scarecrow down and I find the lost tool bag. Patches still needs 20 cabbages though, and I can only collect them by clearing most of the scarecrows out. Maybe ranging will help, snipe from far away, and I can reset my skills for free so there's no trouble trying ranging out. But this is the skills page. You've got offensive skills up top and passive skills down below, divided into the 3 columns of magic, melee and range. To put points into the higher skills, that's skills further away from the central line, you need a certain amount of points in the lower skills. Pretty standard stuff so far, but you can't level up the basic ranged passive skill. It's just red and unclickable. You can't put any points into it, meaning you can't level up range passive skills at all. This oversight basically means the ranged skill tree is useless, so I guess we're going with melee. Turns out melee does a lot better. Remember the 10-second wait period after combat before an item can be used? Well, that's wrong. It's actually 3 seconds. They just forgot to change the in-game text from 10 to 3. I tested it many times. After the game says you must wait 8 more seconds, you can actually use an item then. Every time. Another small thing, but there have been a lot of small things so far. And if you think I'm being harsh, please remember, there's a $250 premium pack. Oh, quickly as well, talking about small mistakes, remember the skill page? I checked it, it's wrong. Some of the passive skills are in the active section and vice versa. Just a small thing, but you might want to sort that out. This is a 3-on-1 scarecrow fight. There is no way I can win, so I just run away and rest. There's a lot of resting if you train like this, so let's grind some lower enemies, but turns out enemies too far below your level don't give experience anymore, or give vastly reduced experience. These chickens give 0 experience. And enemies above your level are basically unkillable, so your only choice is to grind enemies on your level. But enemies on your level always leave you on low health, meaning you're resting after every single fight. So the best tactic is to find the highest enemy you can one-shot kill that still gives experience and grind them. But they're so spaced apart that running from enemy to enemy takes way too long. Patches now needs me to find his alchemy book. He tells me he dropped it in a forest. Well, gee, thanks Patches, that sure narrows down the search area. Two-handed weapons might do more damage and allow you to one-shot things, but they have appalling accuracy, so one shot normally becomes 3 or 4 swings. Returning to the starting town, I hand in the bag of tools and try to make some more items while I'm here. I click on the crafting menu and the icon says you can alt-click to view it. That's quite clever. Do you know what alt-clicking on the item does? Nothing. Why would you say you can do something when you can't? What do you have to gain from lying? I make a helmet. This is not a helmet. This is a chainmail bandana. This offers no protection. It would be harder for the enemy to hit this than it would be to hit anywhere else on my head. I hand in the kill 10 bunnies early game quest and guess what my reward is? That's right, an enslaved lich queen. What the hell? Okay, the game has pets. That's fine. But this does not fit at all. Why did the starting quest reward this? Why is it epic? Why does she have a scythe? Why is the art style not cute or consistent? Why is she a lich? What is she the queen of? This is so disconnected from the rest of the game. Come on, Queen Lichy. I guess you're my pet now. My next quest is focused on the bandits. It's level 5, so I'm not far off. Also, I can one-hit kill the mushrooms, making this the most effective grinding. Fighting the bandits is irritating. As long as I get the first hit in and don't miss a single hit, which is rare, I'll win. If they hit first or I miss a swing, I've got to run. And after any encounter, I need to rest. The quest needs me to kill the one-eyed bandit in the center of the camp, but getting close to him aggroes all the other bandits and I just can't survive. But clearing them out slowly doesn't work either, because by the time I've rested after a single fight, he's respawned. Maybe it's time to tank. I need a shield. That means more copper and that means back to mining. Not close enough, game? Not close enough to mine the rock? Are you sure about that, game? Are you really sure I'm not close enough? Thankfully the portal has cooled down so I can return to town quickly. I make a shield. It looks fine. Back to the bandits. I still can't find the forest golems from that quest earlier. Right, these bandits are taking ages and I'm not making progress. One bandit is fine, but if I pull 2, then I have to run away. And I'm spending more time resting than I am earning experience. And every time I mess up and die, I lose 5% of my experience gained this level, which is really setting me back. So let's just go and explore west. I die to a mushroom, losing even more experience. Then I only beat this bat because he missed his last attack. I think this is meant to make combat exciting, but it's basically just a load of heads and tails flips about who misses first. I am attacked while resting, like I knew would happen, and I cannot run away until I very slowly stand up. All of my current quests are too tough. There's too many enemies in a small area who all attack me at the same time. My only choice is grinding, where I find another bloody annoyance. Whenever you attack an enemy, they run towards and then through you, meaning they're now behind you. So you have to swing the camera around to face them and keep attacking. This happens every single time. So my grinding is mostly swinging the camera around and a mushroom kills me again. Grinding for experience is dire. The amount needed for my next level is so much higher than the last. Lower enemies give nothing, higher enemies kill me, equal enemies need me to rest often. It's so slow. The best I've found is get a good weapon and one-shot kill everything. Maybe I should work toward iron blacksmithing. Maybe get myself a nice good two-handed sword. I'm 8 mining, so I gather a load of iron ore, make some ingots, and there's no iron recipes. I can't make anything iron. I speak to the tutor, they are no help. I even open the new player guide and there's nothing in there about it. Oh, also, when you try to close the new player guide, you can't. The big X in the corner you'd assume was the close function? No, that's just for decoration. You need to go through the whole guide again before it closes. Fine, I'll make a copper greatsword. I need oak lumber, which means even more gathering. With all the materials, I can finally make my own custom greatsword. And you know what? It is inferior to a one-handed axe that fell out of a mushroom's arse an hour ago. Axe of Bear, one-handed, 9 to 12 damage. My custom-made artisan two-handed greatsword, 3 to 6 damage. But maybe the sword increases my stats. Nope, axe is better at that as well. What is the point of crafting? After I level up, I get my first ability, a whirlwind attack. Now it only works with large melee weapons, which is fine. It will work with my greatsword. Do you want to see the animation? Remember, this is the whirlwind. A spinning tornado of death and violence that tears all nearby foes asunder. Behold the awesome power of the whirlwind. There is also no sound effect. Maybe I should just go grind the scarecrows from earlier. I still can't pull more than one scarecrow at a time. Even now it's one enemy per fight or I die. A scarecrow drops some metal shoulders that are better than my current armor, and you know what, yeah, crafting really is pointless. Glad I wasted so much time on that. There is a 50% chance any fight goes good or goes bad. If I miss a single attack, I need to run away. I alternate grinding between enemies equal to me and enemies lower than me. I've not done anything fun for about an hour and the cutesy sound effects are really starting to lose their charm. Crafting is pointless as better stuff drops from enemies. Questing is impossible as I'm swarmed or can't find the enemies I need to kill. Leveling is super slow because the XP system is so harsh and death makes it even worse. I'm also getting really fed up of enemies running through me at the start of every fight and having to reset the camera every damn time. This fight gets risky. We're down to low health. All I need to do is not miss and well, there goes my experience and the last 10 minutes work. Let's go west, but stick to the path. Hopefully avoid some enemies. Maybe it's safer. I finally find the forest golems. Amazingly, I can kill 2 golems before needing a rest, making this much better experience. It's still not good, but it's better. A golem drops an iron greatsword. Thank you, universe, you heard my plea. Another glitch, if you're locked onto an enemy and have just left combat, pressing the rest button will force you to rest, but you won't do the animation. You'll get the HP and mana recovery, but you can't move and you stay stood up. If you press X again to what would effectively be get up, you'll stay locked until the standing animation would have finished. It took me a while to work out this was what was going on. Even with my new sword, 2 enemies at once is still a death sentence. Here's a thought. Can I use the whirlwind attack to farm the scarecrows, gather them all together and do some AoE killing for some massive experience drops? The answer is yes, kind of. I can gather them and I can kill them all with whirlwind, but the experience gained from doing this is still absolutely minuscule. The balancing in experience gaining is way off. The first 2 levels are fast, the 3rd and 4th are fine, but from the 5th onwards it is unimaginably slow. I can see why not many people made it to this level. Patches still needs his alchemy book, and while following this hidden away northern forest path, I happen to find it by a tree. I'm solving a lot of problems by just stumbling onto them. It's less planned adventure and more random luck. Patches gives me a tunic for returning the book, and of course it's better than mine. Everything everyone has or gives me is better than mine. Crafting is an absolute joke. Patches now needs red bat wings, mushroom caps, and a gemstone from a golem. No map markers as usual, but at least I know where these things are, and the golems are a hell of a long walk away. Mushrooms collected, onto the bat wings. There is so much walking in this game. I know these videos are edited to show combat or quests, but if you want a real look at what the actual gameplay has been like, what 99% of my time is, here you go. This is it. This is what the game is actually realistically like. If you watch these videos and think, hey, that looks fun, I'll download it and give it a go. No, stop. It's only fun because I'm editing out the 95% that is just travelling. The truth is, the majority of this game is walking from A to B and back. Red bat wings probably drop from red bats, and I could only find blue bats, so even more walking. Also, the game music has just completely given up. I've been grinding experience or collecting stuff in complete silence for about 2 hours now. Find the red bats, finally collect the wings after about 20 minutes, and back to Patches. Look at the map. Look at my movement speed. Imagine having to do this 4 or 5 times. Please don't play this game. Another issue. I need to start charging the developer for all this beta testing. When strafe running to the left or right while moving forward, your character will turn their head, but they will look the wrong way. Running forward and strafing right makes them look left, and strafing left makes them look right. How do you miss something like this? Remember, they asked for feedback, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. This is honest, direct feedback, and more importantly, I'm giving you the solution. If you're watching this and you develop this game, I'm not just complaining for the sake of complaining. I'm willing to work with you and fix this, because if you removed all the bugs and balanced the XP and combat, it's a nice looking game. Finish the Patches gathering quest. You know what, let's head back and give the bandits another go. You might be good at swimming, but are you move backwards while swimming forwards good? Here's an issue, quite a big one. Sometimes the tab target just doesn't work, and sometimes clicking on an enemy just doesn't work, and there's no auto-retaliate, so sometimes a bandit can just stand there attacking you and you have no way of fighting back. Run in, gather bandits, suicide whirlwind attack. Half works. I say half works because I finished half the quest objectives. I killed Old One Eye and managed to get his eye patch, but I haven't found the fake treasure or the riddle. Also, great way to spoil your own plot there, game. The quest just tells me to get the king's treasure back, but one of the objectives is clearly labelled Find Fake Treasure. Some bandits you can't click on or tab target, so this whole area is an absolute combat mess. They respawn way too fast to clear out. I can't take more than one at a time. Let's try and respec to a battle mage and use a healing spell. But no, you can't cast magic without a wand equipped, and putting points into the healing spell means I need to take them away from my defense, so I still can't survive. I can't do this. Is this a team quest? Does the game expect me to have 3 or 4 other people with me? This has got to be an early group mini-boss. I can kill 2 bandits before needing to rest. It takes ages, but this is the best experience I can find, so I do this for about 45 minutes. The whirlwind strategy of gathering them up and killing them for faster experience is super risky. There's a really high chance it won't kill all of them or just miss, and if that happens, I die, lose 5% of my experience, which is basically 5 minutes worth of time. I head back to the golems. The bandit camp is too risky, I'm pulling too many of them. The golem group is a little safer. I finally finished the forest golem quest, killing 15 of them, and one of them drops a cool looking helmet. How much experience did finishing the golem quest give me? 375. I lose almost 300 for every death. This is not even worth the time it took to run all the way back to the village. Maybe I should go to the next town over, see what's happening over there. This bandit quest just ain't happening and the experience in the forest is terrible, so I stick to the path and I run all the way westward towards Seven Oaks, the next village. On the way, I discover the Nut House. That's actually what it's called. Inside on the floor is an item. Patch's house key. This must be it. The dungeon item. Now, interacting with it does make it disappear, but it hasn't appeared in my inventory. Well, I've interacted with it twice. There's an animation. This must open the dungeon. So I run all the way back to Patch's house, and interacting with the key does nothing. Back to Seven Oaks. There is no in-game music for the whole journey. I reached the next city of Seven Oaks and I changed my home portal to here. Now here's actually a good game mechanic. When you hover your cursor over a building, they edge highlight themselves and say what they are. Blacksmith, inn, magic shop. That's a nice touch. No one in this town talks, not even the mayor. I find the blacksmith tutor who sells iron recipes. I buy one and then think, is this even worth the time? It'd take an hour or 2 to gather all the materials, and then a better piece is likely to just show up in the dirt somewhere. Seven Oaks is pretty much the same as Brightwind, but the capital city of Florin is close by, so let's journey there. It takes 15 minutes, but Florin is actually quite nice, if very empty. A lovely looking city with no one in it, the fate of most overly ambitious MMOs. I checked the Steam achievements for this game and... look at this. Olympic swimmer. Only 0.8% of players have this. If I get this, I'll be in the top 1% of players. I could actually do it. There's a river that runs around the edge of the map. No enemies, mostly straight. So I hop in and turn on auto run. The achievement description is, you must have burned 250 calories with all that swimming. Now a quick Google search tells me to burn 250 calories through swimming, you'd need to swim for about 30 minutes. So I just let it swim. This game had so much promise, a catchy, memorable title, a really cute, memorable art style, and then it went all in with the repetitive, unoriginal, grindy gameplay, which is such a shame. Now 20 minutes later, I'm still swimming and I'm reaching the edge of the map. We're approaching the ocean. Then it happens. Just as I leave the river mouth, the Steam achievement pops up. Olympic swimmer. I am officially in the top 1% of players. But we seem to be in uncharted waters here, literally. What's to the south? The world map is blank. So let's explore. So to the south is death. If you stray too far away from the game, you die because you suddenly take massive, invisible, unavoidable damage. Your gravestone says you got too tired to continue living. I feel you there, game. Now the south may have been death, but the north of the map looks complete, so in theory it'd be possible to swim along the eastern coast northwards, but I mean that'd take ages, a good hour at least, and there'd be no reason to. No one would do that. Would they? What you're about to see is something likely no one has ever seen before. The entrance to the final dungeon in Tale of Toast. I swam back out to sea, then found this unfinished section of Eastern Land. Out of bounds of the map, but not so far away the fatigue counter appears. And I ran. While running, found another small issue. The game only plays sound effects when the camera is close enough to the source of them, so zooming in allows you to hear your footsteps. It's an interesting idea, but it doesn't work in practice because it makes me feel like I'm the camera instead of I'm the avatar. Eventually, we reach the eastern coast of the northern Azrak Desert. It's covered in king cobra snakes, and we are likely the only people to have ever seen this part of the game. This is an unmapped land. Only you, me, and the developer has likely ever seen this, and we still have more to go. The lava design of the Badlands blends perfectly with the shore, but you know what? I can forgive this graphical oversight because I don't think the developer actually ever expected anyone to be here. Finally, I reach the northernmost tip. Going any further triggers the fatigue counter, which eventually means death, so I guess we're swimming through the river to the west. The world map shows me there's another dungeon above me. There is no way they'd ever expect a player to do this, so the walls of this trench aren't exactly textured well. And I'd love to show you what the dungeon bridge looks like way above me, but whenever I angle the camera underwater, the whole screen just goes black. Also, I seem to have stumbled into a PvP zone and now have a floating skull above my head. Jesus game, just be brave, come on, cabbages of food, runite ore, a skull for PvP, just call yourself Toastscape and be done with it. The swimming isn't getting me anywhere and there's nowhere to climb out, so I'm going to turn around, go back to the ocean and just die to the north. If you angle the camera just right while swimming, you can get this waterline graphics issue where you can kind of see underwater. I don't know how to fix this and I don't think you need to because I don't think any other players will ever do this. I climb back out and am about to let death embrace me and stop playing when I remember. Dying respawns you at the nearest graveyard, and normally dungeons have graveyards near them. So if I swim back under the bridge and drown, I'll respawn near the final dungeon. At least, I should do. But remember, that's just a theory. A game theory? That's actually quite a catchy line. I should use that more. I drown under the bridge, likely the only player in history to ever do so in that specific spot. Then I respawn in the nearby desert town of Al-Bahar. Again, I'm confident I am the first player to ever get here. Sticking to the paths and narrowly dodging enemies way above my level, I managed to sneak all the way to what I believe to be the final dungeon entrance. The bridge that was so far above the river. The bridge, however, is guarded by 3 ultra-strong enemies. I know they'll likely kill me in one shot, but remember, this is an anime game. All I need to do is believe in myself, believe in the power of friendship, believe in honor, dignity, courage, the heart of the cards, the power of love, a force from above, a skyscraping dove. I have the power of God and anime on my side. All Might never gave up. Erin never gave up. Rick Astley never gave me up. So on wings of truth and justice, I charge towards evil. This game is shit. Tale of Toast looks lovely, but under the cute chibi surface hides a snarling grindfest with pointless crafting, repetitive farming, awfully optimized quests, unfair combat, and unforgiving death mechanics. It looks fine, it sounds adorable, and it's fun to spend about 15 minutes with, but beyond that, it's grating, irritating, and downright infuriating, leaving you wishing you could just get away from it, which is why the final rating for Tale of Toast is an actual human baby out of 10. Cheers for watching. If you want more worst MMO ever videos, then drop a like or sub to the channel. A massive thank you to my Patreon supporters and Twitch subs who make all my videos possible. And comment down below with any game you think deserves the title. Check the video description for links to the Patreon, Twitch, Twitter and Discord. And as always, have a great day.